Hi everybody, it's Julia here and I am back with a new process video which I'm really excited about. So here is the layout that we are going to create, and if you don't want to see the process then don't. But I'm actually going to sort of not recycle, I'm going to use what I used on these cards that I made 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago I showed how I made these two cards and also a layout. Now, I love using these dies from the create paper and I use them all the time. I make them in batches. I have a huge stack of them. Not now, they're almost out. And I make them in different colors. So I showed how I made these leaves, which are a sort of blue-black color. And here's just a short recap of what I did really fast. So I sprayed a black mist and then a navy mist, some water, and did this in different batches, dried it in between so you can really get it watercolor effect. I did these on watercolor paper, partly because it takes water a lot better and it also a lot thicker. Here is the leaf dies that I used on that paper. Now, here is the paper and I cut it out in half, sorry about the dogs, so I can cut it up. But I also get these two pieces of paper, which is A5, and I don't want to throw them away. I think they're so cool, and it's such a big trend now with these sort of cut files and offcuts using the silhouette, which I don't have, but I love these and I have made a lot of layouts using them. So here is one example. So let's talk about layout. Sorry about the dogs. I'm going to use a lot of the create paper Hello Love, which I love. It is, oh my gosh, I just think it's so pretty. I really wished I could get my hands on the 12 by 12 paper pad. I cannot. Kerstin! Sorry. So, the layout. Like I said, I'm going to use a lot of that. I really want to have a fun color scheme that sort of explodes from the photo, but I keep a lot of white space on my layout. Yeah. So the layout I'm going to do is, since I made this in January, I wanted to make like a right now page. So I took a few topics that I really like or interested in, and then write what I do right now. So for example, what TV shows I watch, or what book I'm reading, and what I like to drink, or just random stuff. And I think it would be really fun looking back. And I actually, right now, while I'm editing this video, I'm working on another layout, which will be coming out soon, hopefully. Sort of similar to that right now, but in a more specific topic. So I think that could be really fun. Yeah. So right now I'm just working on my layers. Like I said, I want the feeling like there is a sort of like an explosion of fun from the photo, but still keep a lot of white space on the layout. Um, and I use the Create Paper Hello Love, but also some Craft Market paper that I really love too. I use a lot in the yeah. So back to the thought about the layout, using that sort of scrap piece of paper, the leaf offcut. I really like to do that, and I have used used it before, and I will link all the related videos below. But what I would really like is that it's a bit of a different element, and pretty much all of you can do it if you have a silhouette or have a die cut machine. Of course, it takes a little bit longer to do it this way, and I find that I think more about how I cut it so that I can get both a lot of leaves, in this case, out of the paper, but also cut in a way that I can use the paper also as an embellishment or as an element on a page. I have done the same with hearts, and I use the lawn fawn hearts, and they are really tiny, and that takes forever. But I also made it with snowflakes not too long ago. So I think you can get a really sort of fun, interesting look on your page using this, and you get the offcut, this really interesting piece, but you of course get the leaves or snowflakes or hearts or whatever you die cut out of it, and I just really like it. Now, of course, it takes a long time if you don't have a silhouette, but I really think it's worth it, and of course, I think it's worth it. I've done it so many times. Um, So yeah. So I really like the color combination here with the black blue in the paper, but also that brings up in the photo. I'm wearing a black jacket and a blue scarf. So, and we're out in this winter sort of wonderland, I was about to say. So to bring in that element more, I'm also going to add the leaves cut out from this paper, and I just really like how that looks. Um, so I'm going to focus the colors and the embellishments around this photo. Then I'm going to come in with my journaling later, and I'm going to type that on vellum to get that sort of softness, a bit more strict with the typing, um, to contrast the sort of fun and whimsical feel of all of the embellishments, but also keep it pretty light on the vellum, so that the focus really is the photo and all the fun, but you also have easy to read, sort of. My typewriter is not actually that easy to read. I really should change the ribbon in it, and sometimes when you press down one letter down, another comes up. So it's a bit fun out using it. So that is also why I felt I could use that pink typewriter from the chipboard sheet, because I'm going to use a typewriter, and I also love my typewriter, and it's pink typewriter. I don't have that, but I really like it. The foam snowflakes are cut out of a foam silver glitter sheet. I really like that, and it really adds some dimension to it. I think it's really fun. Right now I'm like adding all the snowflakes I can everywhere, because the snow is sort of, one day we have a lot of snow here and then it's gone the next. So I'm sort of like pouring down the snowflakes on everything while I can. And I have invested in multi-medium in the tiny bottle, which is really nice. That is good. I also use some buttons, which I'm really proud of myself for doing. I have this jar of button on my desk, and I really try to use it. So here I use some sort of translucent white tiny buttons, so they're not like a big pop, and I don't feel like it's obvious like, here I have tried to use buttons on my page, but I still have, and I think it works great. I think it's really hard to work in buttons, but I really try. So to sort of frame the layout, I sort of felt it was like floating up a bit too much. I'm going to use my new favorite washi, which is a black and white diagonal stripe. So here you can see I've written on a scrap piece of vellum. There's a lot of scrap here. Scrap in the layers and scrap behind and scrap vellum. But we are doing scrapbooking. So that is what I have on my vellum piece. If you're interested in knowing what I'm like now, check out the link below to go on over to my blog. Cliffhanger. So I decided to stick down my vellum just with this piece of washi so I can stitch it down. Also, one of my new favorite washi is this pink with white polka dots. I have had, like, I think I've mentioned this before, a hard time using using my washi tapes. And the other day I was like, I got 3 new ones, and I was like, oh, why am I getting washi tapes? I don't use them. And then like, I've used these like a lot. So I realized it's not that I don't like using washi tape. It's that I don't like the washi tapes I have, and this doesn't really work for me. So that can be a tip if you don't really use a lot of vintage stuff and you have a lot of vintage washi tapes. Might be the problem. I know, it's like such a revelation. So here I'm going to take off the pink and white washi tape, and I realized I really like how it looks, so I'm going to leave it there. Who knew? I'm going to stamp the date. Well, actually, I'm going to stamp January 2016, and then some of these 7 papers Darcy roller free stamps. Just to have some texture and some fun. And then I'm going to add my title, which is going to be right now, but I'm going to write it in Swedish because I'm Swedish. If you can't hear that on the dreadful English accent, I'm Swedish. Yay! Okay, so I'm going to do that. I did fuss a lot and try to find what thickers I was going to use, and I couldn't really decide. I have a lot of gold thickers, and I felt like I have really no problem using gold and silver together, but here I felt the feel was a bit more frosty and a bit more cold, and the gold would really warm that up, and I really didn't want that. So in the end, I decided to use these grey foam figures that came out in the last Cray Paper Valentine collection. So I think they're called Darling, if I'm not completely mistaken. And I really like that they are grey, so that it is a title, you can read it, but it's not like big contrast, and I really like that. So that is the layout. I hope you have liked it. I really love this layout and the fun ways you can use with your die cuts. Here comes the stills, and check out my blog to see more of the layout. Bye!